Hey, 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 good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're all still staying warm. It's still cold outside. Oh, I cannot wait for this stuff to be over. Right off the bat, Lisa, thank you very much for the host and good morning to you, ma'am. Oh, okay. I'm still partially asleep right now, so you're going to have to excuse me. Today's going to be a really fun day for me. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My wife has decided that she wants to take all the dogs to the dog park. Mm-hmm. All 12 of them at once in the snow. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm trying to talk her out of it. Just think about the backyard. Let them run around and play out there. We got plenty of snow out there that they haven't touched with or turned into yellow snow yet. Coming to host you before I pass out again. I'll see you later on Jimmy's stream. All right, kitten, you take it easy. You get yourself a good rest. Thank you for stopping in, ma'am. It's greatly appreciated. Hey, Imfried, good morning to you. Trying to stay warm. Yeah, I think we all are at this point. I cannot wait to see my gas bill. It will probably give me a heart attack. Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least I could say one thing out of all this. Unfortunately, to my friends in the South and everywhere else who had to deal with the rolling blackouts, we had power go out one night in the middle of the night. And I don't think it was intentional. We heard something pop before it happened, but believe me, we've had blizzards before on Christmas Eve where we were without power for 8, 10, 12 hours. Temperature in the house plummeted to 48 degrees before it came back on. That's when some of our dogs were
Execute
puppies.
Order 66.
Hey, Phantom. Thank you for the 100 biddies, sir. Oh, you want us to execute Order 66? Okay, I got one for you. So I want to play a game with you. Thank you for the 100 biddies, Phantom. Good morning, Imfried, Phantom. Ladies and gentlemen, two good friends of the stream right there. If you don't know who they are, please click their links, give them a follow, leave their notification bells alone, and make sure you tell them Astro sent you over. Really great guys. Please go check them out. Oh, so how are all of y'all doing this morning? Hope y'all are all well. Any big plans for the weekend? I know mine is the hot water pipes thaw out. Oh, so let's see what's on the agenda this morning. That's right. We're still flying the Love Boat, or as we call it, the Love Liner. Of course, I named the ship the Event Horizon, just like the horror movie, because you never know what may happen on board. We didn't properly vet all our employees, so there's no telling who we have on board. But it's okay. If you go inside and lock your cabin door, you might be safe. Racing and sleeping, huh? Hopefully you're not doing both at the same time. After all, we remember that you like to read messages in the turns. You know, when you come into the straightaways, you're kissing the wall. It's a good thing you've improved over that one. Good thing. But you still need to stop reading chat messages in the turns. It's never a good thing. I'm sad now, though, found my venison salami and it's moldy. Man, that's blasphemy, Imfried. You cannot do that, man. That is so wrong. Oh, uh-uh, uh-uh. We cannot have that. That is the waste of good venison. Never a good thing. Never a good thing. I'm ashamed of you. I am so ashamed. Whatever am I going to do? Got to find some way to get back at you for that, because that's just not right. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. We're doing a quick little check here and see who goes what and where. Okay, I got 2 people wanting to go to Erlich Market. That's about 99,000 light years away. Let's see. Where's this other one at? He wants to go to Dutton. That would be a lot closer. No, it actually will not be. Wow, do I really want to take them? I don't know if I want to do that yet. Oh, that's a good destination right there. Hell World. Okay, a couple people going to Tullian's, not that far away. We'll stick them in business class. I know we got some more going to a planet there. We got a couple more people going to... Let's see where they want to go. 5 people. Okay. We'll stick them in the economy. That wasn't it. That was not it. Now my other one's probably gone. The one that wanted to go to the planet. Nope. More passengers than I allowed for. We are going to have to do something about that. We are definitely going to have to change our cabins around just a little bit. Stick more people in. Maybe get rid of the shield. Maybe go for lower shield quality. We could do that. I've got it in the fridge, and I'm the only one to eat it in the house. The worst part is it's the last of it that I thought would still be good. The shield on the wrapper and didn't smell bad. Ooh. Now that's bad when you don't see it, but you taste it. Been there, done that. When you start biting into your food, then all of a sudden you realize something about it just tastes a little bit off. One of the key things I always have with the problem is once you do that, that taste is in your mouth and you cannot get rid of it. Really? This person wants me to find them clothing. You could pack your own suitcase? Really? Oh, no wonder. We don't have any here. Maybe they got some there because I'm not going to go looking for him just for him. I know. Let's look in the lost and found. I'm sure we got some clothing there for him. At least we didn't bang off the ceiling today. Oh. Well, good morning and welcome in, everybody. Getting away from the station, get away from the mass lock so we could start our voyage. I do not want to know what that was. Hey, good morning, big guy. How you doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in another good friend of the stream, Mr. Big Guy 86. Great friend of mine. If you don't know who he is, please click that link, go over, give him a follow. Leave a notification bell on. Make sure you tell him Astro sent you over. Oh, how you doing this morning, sir? Still trying to wake up. I'm actually thinking about going in the kitchen and getting a Bang energy drink and drinking it because I think I'm losing it this morning. That noise was just me flushing the toilet and ship. Man, you flushed the toilet in the ship. What did you do? We warned you not to use the toiletries in the ship. This is a no-frill space liner. You just flooded the engine room. Wow, I can't believe you just did that. We cannot allow that. So we got to get one of our other crewmates, Phantom, to go back down in there and start cleaning it all up. So, Phantom, get to work, sir. Get to work. You do a good job. I might actually feed you this afternoon. How does that sound? Yep. We might actually give you some food today. Oh, that poor engine room. Must be stifling in there today. Oh, the plumbing's backed up. Yes, we've got to get it worked on. You know, Phantom is the one who actually broke the toilets. Yeah, he is. We told him not to eat all that good Mexican food, but he just does not listen. He just does not listen. Ever. Ever. So Phantom is either probably sitting there at his computer laughing or he's plotting revenge for those comments. But it's okay. If he's mad, it'll just be for a little short bit because, well, just drill a hole in the floor. It'll be good. You know, hey, we could attempt that. I think our previous engineer did attempt that. Yeah, he unfortunately got sucked out of that little bitty hole because the pressure changes. Yeah. The atmosphere of the engine room got sucked out, and he did too. Breakfast burrito sounds really good right now. Oh, yes, it does. Actually, it really does. Need something nice and warm and filling. And I'll be for a little man. Phantom, just a little bit. And I know last night he was telling me that he was something, I forget what it was, something about just a little bit. And I know that even though he was off cam and he says he didn't do it, we know when somebody starts talking about somebody doing something just a little bit, we know that they take their fingers and they make just that, little tiny gap. So we know he did do it. He can deny it, but we know he did. We all do it. And we all laugh about it. Because, well, yeah, so that's what we do. Amen. Okay, they both came here. I was thinking the other group with the 99,000 light second travel time, but that was the other group. Told you folks I wasn't awake yet. Today was one of those mornings where I just wanted to roll back over in bed, stay in it because it was nice, it was warm, it was cozy. Okay, so this guy wants 2 units of clothing. So let's see if we can find him his clothing to make him happy. I'm looking for your clothing, okay? Give me a little break here. I'm trying. I'm trying. How about survival equipment? Will that work for you? How about if I buy some bio waste? Oh, I know he's not happy. My weekend. My weekend, what? Started early last night? So your weekend started early last night. Got to go home early? Oh, don't tell me you got sick. Almost started early last night. Ah, okay. I was like, I lost. What is lost? And yeah, folks, today is going to be the day of misread messages. So I'm probably going to be reading them about 2 or 3 times before we get into it. Because it's definitely one of those days. Uh, 13,521,000 credits. I'll take you. Okay. Just want to make sure this guy is going to the same area. 3 passengers. I'll stick him in business. Let's see who else we may have going the same way. Ooh. No, I don't have anything that big. Or as cabins. Okay. No, I almost walked off the job last night because somebody tried pushing to do a job I was already headed to do. Ooh. He made the comment that he's the guy and that he's my boss. Oh, one of those situations. Oh, I've been in those situations too. Yeah. My situation did not turn out good because I ended up telling the guy off. And my boss jumped his crap for it. Sorry, Imfried. Sometimes some people just have a little bit of a power trip every now and then. And that's good because I'm the guy to. I swear, this thing's going to keep bouncing me off the roof of the mail slot because we should have done it right there. I don't know how we didn't. I told him that's good because I'm the guy to tell you. Oh, yeah. That's me. That's me. All right, brother. I'm going to wrap. Having a major stream. All right, Phantom, you take it easy, sir. You get yourself some good rest in. I will see you later on this afternoon and come up with some more short jokes for you. Get yourself a good rest, though, sir. You know, you need more than just a little rest. Sorry, I had to do it. I had to. You know, because if I don't pick on the man, he's going to think something's wrong with me. He's going to think I'm mad at him. So I just got to do it. I just got to. I promise you, folks, the one thing we will not do is we will not be singing the song from the Love Boat here. Might be kind of fun for the cruise ship, but we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. That's cruel. That's torture. Besides, I can't carry a tune to save my life, and I'm not going to torture y'all. Nope. Nope. because I like y'all. I like y'all to keep coming back. You know, don't want to blow out your eardrums. Not this early in the morning. But he acted like I needed that job. It would be an inconvenience for me to walk off. What you don't realize that I'll walk off a different company next week. Like I said, Freed, I've been there myself, man. I have been there myself. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Sorry, I know that's a phrase that probably shouldn't be used anymore, but that's about the way it seems. You got too many leaders, not enough workers to do the job. Everybody wants to dictate. We had a survey job to do. Main boss told us how he wanted it done because he wanted it a specific way. And yet somebody else came out there and started trying to dictate to us to do it a different way. Well, we didn't listen to him. He got mad. Told him, nope, sorry, owner of the company wants it done this way. He overrules you. So he threatened to fire me. It's like, go ahead, fire me. Then you'll be out here doing this job. It was bad weather. It was bad weather. It was humid. And it was in the middle of the swamp. I didn't care. A couple days, I could have had another job at another survey company. So we shall see how tonight goes. Well, I hope it's uneventful for you. I really do. I really do. But just be prepared because you never really know. Try not to let a bad day make it a bad week. Exactly, big guy. Exactly. You never know. Last night may be a 1 day thing. Somebody just went a little power hungry, and you just blow it off. Tonight might be a whole different night. Might go quick, might go easy. But yeah, don't let it get to you. Don't lose any sleep over it. You can't. But it's always like that out in the survey fields where you know what you got to do. You know the best way to do it because you're looking at the plats. You found somebody's property corners and one or two are missing, and you know how you've got to figure out to set the missing corners. And you've got everything tied in, and you got somebody else who comes out there and tries to tell you how to do your job. Even though you've got 5, 7 years, 10 years experience doing it, you got somebody else who walks out there who tries to tell you how to do it, who's got 6 months, who doesn't know what he's talking about, who doesn't know how to tie the corners in, who doesn't know how to make sure everything fits together perfectly like it should. I hope so to a point. I kind of hope he does say something because I'll light into him tonight. Well, you don't really want to know, big guy. After I got out of the Navy, I just didn't find a job I was happy with. I know that sounds bad, but that's what I did. I worked in a car dealership for several years, both in the parts department and in the mechanic field. I actually like the mechanic field a lot better did that. Did land survey for several years. Did truck driving for several years. I had to quit that one though because my mom got sick. So I had to kind of quit my job to take care of her because she didn't like strange people in her house. So I had to do that. I won't lose sleep. It might cost me some hours of pay, but I'll be working again next week. All right, Freed. If you need to talk about something, man, just be sure to let me know. But yeah, not a bad thing at all. Went through it. It's it's true. When I got out of the military, I was looking for something that was, I don't know. I couldn't find anything I was really satisfied with. Really, there was nothing that made me happy. You know, it's bad when you work in a job for a couple years and you dread getting up every morning. Have to go back to some place you really didn't like, work with people that were, well, complete total jerks. I was still a nice person back then. Greeted everybody with a good morning and smile on my face. And hard to believe, but yes, that was me. But I wanted something where I enjoyed working at, something I enjoyed doing. Now, truck driving was good because I didn't really have to answer to anybody as long as I got the freight to where it was supposed to go when it was supposed to be there. And I followed all the rules. So we had that. Surveying was pretty good because all we did was we found out from our boss what we needed to do, where the job was, or what specifics he wanted. And as soon as we left the office, we were our own boss again. Didn't really have to answer to anybody. As long as we did what we were supposed to do. All thing we had to be careful was if that was a contract job, be careful about the people out there in the job and talk to them when they wanted information. That's all it was. But we always had people who decided that they wanted to dictate to us what we had to do that wasn't part of our job scope, that wasn't part of the job assignment, and would take hours out of the day to do that would irk our boss and make him fuss at us because we wasted half a day doing something that he did not want, that the company wasn't being paid for. So we always had that going on. But as long as we answered the employees, uh, sorry, the business's question, the management's question of what we were doing to make things right from the job site itself and satisfying our boss, that's all that mattered. He didn't really care what we did or how long we took to do it sometimes, as long as we got the job done. Because if work was slow, he didn't care if it took us all day. Because most of the time he just found us little busy work to do anyhow. Flag nails, go wash the truck, go get maintenance on them. We did that anyway. But we always tried to make our day go as quick as possible. And we love Fridays. Fridays were our half days. We'd go in, work about 2-3 hours, take a long lunch break because all we had was one job, and go home. after getting paid. I know what I want to do for a living. The problem is getting it, as the equipment is expensive and schooling is useless. No one will hire you after you go to school for it. What? The equipment is expensive and schooling is useless, as no one will hire you after you go to school for it. Okay. What exactly do you want to do, Infried? Heavy equipment operator? That would be a good job. That would be a very good job. You can go to work anywhere. Get paid a lot of money for it, too. The one thing I was mad about when I got out of the service was the fact that I was told that my rate, being a radar operator, an operations specialist, I could become an air traffic controller. And then when I got out and realized that the GI Bill wouldn't cover the school was over $200,000, and that they told me that I would not be a prime candidate because of the fact that they would have to unlearn me of everything I did for 3.5 years and reteach it to me, that I was full of bad habits I would not be able to break. And they couldn't guarantee me of a job, even after paying all that money out of pocket. I realized going in debt for, a school that I wouldn't be able to make a career out of, that probably wouldn't happen. And the fact that the comments they made about my training I had in the military, I'd have to unlearn it, the bad habits, it wasn't worth it. And my wife and I at the time, we discussed it because, $200,000, that was a lot of money. A lot of money. I'd be putting us in debt probably the rest of our lives for that. Run an excavator, loading, mining, dump truck, that kind of work. Yeah. Well, most of the time for something like that, they want people with experience, practical experience. Sometimes the best way to do it is if you could get in an entry-level job on something like that where they could start teaching you how to do it. It's all hands-on. Schooling sometimes will teach you the basics. Other times it's just more or less just a waste of time. Like truck driving school. I went to a school that was, it was 8 weeks, but they just taught you the basics. You didn't really learn anything until you went out with your trainer the first time and you realized how much stuff they really didn't teach you. They didn't. And they didn't teach you very much. I mean, they taught us the inspections. They taught us how to drive the truck. They taught us how to do the log books. Just the basic stuff. Maneuverability of the trucks themselves and all that good stuff. But there was a lot of stuff that they did not teach. A lot. And I know my trainer, the guy I went out with, and I was with him for, Warner Enterprises, the company I went to work for, they had a 14-week training program. So you spent 7 weeks with one trainer, took a break for a few days, and then you had 7 weeks with a different trainer. This way, you would learn something from 2 different people, 2 different ways of doing it. This way, you could also develop and determine which way you wanted to do it, because you're getting it from different points of view. And I ended up staying with the same trainer for 14 weeks, and he was appalled about the lack of stuff that they didn't teach us. He was satisfied I could drive. He was satisfied I could back the truck up. He was satisfied I could do the blind alley backing. That's where you're backing a truck up to a dock you can't see in very tight spaces. And he was satisfied with all that. But there was so much stuff that they just didn't do. He actually thought a lot of times trucking companies was just a waste of money. I mean, the training schools was just a waste. Second person, okay, apparently is not coming here. So let's see what they want. I love how they tell me that they've got a secondary mission available, but they couldn't give it to me when I was already at that port. Why couldn't you give it to me at that port? 200,000 is still a lot of money. You see, that was the problem. You know, it wasn't the fact it was 200,000. It was the fact that there was no guarantee of a job after that. And it was all out of pocket because the GI Bill wasn't going to put a penny toward it. You see, if I'd have known something like that, what did they call them? We were considered operations specialists, but I think they were called, yeah, ATCs, air traffic controls on the carriers. I'd have done that instead of what I did. The only thing I could have used my rate for was, well, tugboats, tankers, the shipping vessels, cruise ships. That was the only thing. But I wanted to be in air traffic control, not because it was a federal job, just because of the amount of money that they made. And I thought that training that I had would really help me to that. And it didn't. But CDL schooling is now required in this state. Well, they help you to get your permit so you can actually start driving the truck. And, get you the experience out on the road. Because believe me, you don't want to get stopped without one. You don't. Believe me, you don't. Fine for that is an ungodly amount. But they do teach, the basics are good. I don't think they're worth the amount of money they charge you for it, though, but they are good. Now, mind you, I'm only taking this basis off of the school that I went to. Okay. Our trainer, at least one particular trainer there, he had already made up in his mind who was going to make it and who wasn't. And he preferred to spend his time with those people that he thought would actually make it. So they would take 5 of us out on a truck with the practical street driving. And he spent the majority of the time, he spent time with all of us. But he spent more time with me and another girl. Because, as he put it, we had what it would take to make it as a truck driver. I learned as a kid, I love the big rigs, but don't want to really be a trucker, as you have a lot of responsibilities. One for the idiot that comes slam. Well, yeah, and the idiots who get in front of you and decide to brake check you and slam on the brakes, and yeah. You always have those. You have those who think that you can stop on a dime, that they've got the right of way over you because you're an inconvenience. I had one who somehow thought he could go under my trailer. He found out real quick he couldn't go under my trailer. And that was when my rear tandems went over the hood of his car. He's lucky they went over the hood of his car and not in the cabin where he was. But you always have the idiots like that. Look at the way people drive around them. We always thought that, everybody who drove a car needed to get an 18-wheeler at least one time just to see what it was like. Not necessarily behind the wheel, but just to see what it was like, see what we went through. CDL schooling here costs a minimum of $4,000, most about 40. Trying to remember how much mine costs. I think mine cost somewhere around $2,500. This was also the 90s. Yeah. Oh, people could do the stupidest thing. Yeah, they do. They do. And then the worst part is that you get off at a truck stop after dealing with one of these idiots, and they follow you to the truck stop to confront you. I don't have time to deal with you. I don't. I'm following the rules of the road. You're tempting to, make me do things I can't do. I had somebody brake check me one day, 70 miles an hour. He's lucky the only thing I did was clip him on the passenger side because I completely caved in the passenger side of his car. I made it to the shoulder somehow, and I did not roll the truck. I remember that. That was a pucker moment. I was just kind of panicking. Military teaches you not to panic in emergency situations. I kind of panicked that time. I thought for sure I had just killed somebody. Yeah. And people argue with me that the stunt is real. They didn't realize it's a custom trailer. Oh, he tried the... Yeah. It's a custom trailer. We got low-hanging hoses. We got framework that hangs down. You're not going to fit unless you've got a real small sporty car that could fit through there. It's not going to happen. Most times those are not going to clear anyway. But this guy was in the inside lane. We were coming up to an exit. He could have sped up to get in front of me. He could have slowed down to get behind me. Instead, he just tried to slide under me, and it didn't work. It didn't work. He started to go under me, and the roof of his car hit the side of the trailer. And when it did, the front of his car swung, and my tandems just went over it. Because I watched the guy all of a sudden when he was about to do it, and it's like, is he really going to do what I think he's going to do? And all of a sudden he did it. I heard another truck behind me. Most of the time we don't cuss over the CB. Oh, that guy was cussing because he was having to slam on his brakes to keep from running into him. He could not believe what this guy had done. I couldn't believe what this guy had done. When the cops got there, they couldn't believe what the idiot did. The only thing the cop asked him is if he had a death wish. Quite frankly, that's all we thought he had. Hey, we got 6 people going here. We'll take them. That's when we started realizing that people were thinking only about themselves and not anything else. He could have killed himself If there were other people around, he could have killed the other cars, people in the other cars. He could have caused the 18-wheeler behind us to slam into both of us. Could have killed us both. It's, you know, they only think of themselves. You know, our attention is on the road. Our attention is on all the gauges that's in front of us, and we got a crap ton of gauges in front of us, and alarms. And we got our Qualcomm unit that was down there on the floor that we weren't supposed to touch while driving. We got dispatchers sending us messages. You know, now we got the cell phones with us and the CBs to keep us entertained, and you know, having to watch the reefer unit behind us and the controls in the dashboard. The driver's door for it in the event something happens, and watching the mirrors to make sure that, you know, we watch out for the people in the crazy four-wheelers. Because most people do. They drive sane, but sometimes they just, I don't know, makes you wonder if they've lost all sense of reality. My dad was a semi-truck mechanic, and he was a kid, so that's pretty nice. Yeah. I mean, after the accident, I had to get the trailer checked out at a garage at one of the truck stops because I had to make sure that the airlines were still intact. You know, the trailer tires were fine. Nothing had happened to the brakes. You know, nothing had happened to the framework of the trailer itself. You know, that cost me time. That cost me money. Not to mention the fact I had to write a report for the company because of what happened. I don't know. Can't say much about some truck drivers because I've been hit while I've been parked at a truck stop before when I was inside eating, come outside and, you know, part of the front of my truck is laying there in pieces. Luckily, the guy drove off. Two other people had saw it and captured his company names, the DOT ID numbers, and got the license plate number of the trailer. So at least had something to go by. Something to tell the cops, something to tell my company. Man, I wasn't happy that day. I was not happy that day. I got lucky though because the way he hit my truck, he bent my front bumper outward and he destroyed just a bit of the cab, but luckily he left the front headlights intact. So I could continue onward, because if he had destroyed the driver's side headlights, I wouldn't have been able to drive the truck at night. Not until I had them fixed. But the guy that read the report probably was laughing his ass off. I don't know. They had a lot of questions. Oh, I'm sitting here. I don't have game sounds up, and none of you say anything. Imfried. And tell you what though, I was driving around about a week after that accident, and every time we got anywhere close to a terminal, anytime we were driving within 50 miles of a terminal, we were supposed to detour to go to a terminal for what they called safety check. It's where you come in, mechanics go over the truck, just looking for any kind of maintenance issues that may have gone on that we did not catch in our pre-trips. You know, checking fluid levels, checking for leaks, checking tires, brakes. They go over it with a fine-tooth comb. So while the mechanics were going over my truck, I had to go inside to answer questions for the safety department about it. And I walk in there and they've got the report. And I've got two guys right there who are answering me questions. And they're laughing about it, want me to explain to them again how it really happened. Because they thought, it was a joke. They had my report. They had the police report that had the witness statement from the truck driver behind me because he saw the whole thing. He stopped because he couldn't believe the idiot did it. And I'm having to answer questions about it. And they're laughing the whole time. And then I realized that I wasn't in trouble for it for no matter whatever happens. So I'm sitting there with a Coke and we're just laughing about it because we couldn't believe that the guy actually did it. She's quiet on my end, so I didn't realize it. Don't worry about it, Imfried. But they were laughing. They thought it was a big joke at first, and then they started realizing that it really did happen. Because that's exactly the way it was. I was sitting there while I was driving the truck. I was looking out the window real quick, and I caught a glimpse of it, and it's like something about his movement wasn't right. Because all of a sudden he went to the inside of the lane and then he started coming across. It's like he's not going to do what I think he's going to do. And then all of a sudden he did it. And the safety guy was like, why didn't you hit the brakes? Well, I had another tractor trailer coming up behind me for a different company and it wouldn't have mattered because this guy would have done it anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered if I'd have slowed down or sped up. He still would have done it. Yeah. They, we had safety briefings we had to go to once every quarter. It was a requirement. And we all had to get something about the size of a business card that showed that we had actually attended the safety briefing. Because if we didn't, they docked our pay for it. So the next quarter safety briefing came up and they started discussing somebody who had an incident of a car who decided to try to drive under the trailer. And unfortunately, the instructor looked right at me and said, that's the driver right there. That's our guy that they tried to drive under. And everybody turned and looked at me and I just put my head down going, no, you did not do that. But they did. They pointed me out. It's like, man, this ain't what I wanted. This ain't it. This ain't it. I always hated being the center of attention like that. Kind of like streaming. It feels weird sitting here on camera being kind of like the center of attention because that was never me. I was the guy who always hid in the back of the room at parties. I'd mingle, but mingle, crack jokes, but I never really wanted to be the center of attention. I always liked to hide. Oh, 2 first class passengers. Okay, we can do that. Where were they going? LTT 15587. Okay. 12 refugees. I think the most people we ever have in that cabin at one time. Now, if I remember right, this guy is okay. He's unfazed by danger. Being scanned will greatly reduce passenger satisfaction. That is not good. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to go drop the first guy off. See which station he's going to make sure we can get him first. If we can get him off, that'll be a good thing. Yamazaki City. All right. Volume on my TV is usually at 25 to 30 when you stream, and it's at 50 now. Okay, Infreed. But I mean, I love driving the 18-wheeler. I really did. And as long as I got the freight where it was going to go on the appointed time, everybody left me alone. I attended the safety briefings I was supposed to. I wrote the reports I was supposed to, and I reported to my dispatcher every night like I was supposed to. But I like driving at night so I could avoid most of the traffic. I would drive to get close to my destination, find a truck stop park, and then in the morning or afternoon when it was close to the appointment time, I would... Oh, come on. How am I supposed to avoid ship scans? As soon as I exit the station, I get scanned, and it's going to aggravate my passenger. Should I put foil around his cabin to make sure he doesn't get scanned? But they were happy with my performance. They always were. I kept to myself while I was on the road. I kept to myself while I was in the truck stops. They're full. You sit down with other truckers. You just sit down and start talking about all the crazy things you've seen and done. But I always used to save money. I have mini fridge that I always carried with me where I can carry lunches. I had we had meals that had sorry, portable heat packs, kind of like some of the MREs had now, and they were good. I treated myself to eating a truck stop about once every 5 days. It was just for something different. I think I would love it also, but don't want the responsibility of the little four-wheelers. I liked it because technically I was my own boss, even though I was a company driver. You follow the rules. You have no problems with DOT. You have no problems with the police. You turned in your logs and all whenever you completed a trip. That's all our company wanted. That's all they wanted. And I did. I got to see a lot of the country, even though most of the time I never was able to stop. Got to see a lot. But there were times where I did stop. The only thing I didn't like about it was if you're from the South like I was, they want to keep you up north. I didn't like that. So every now and then they'd give me a ride down south, a load down there, and I'd go down there. And every time I was passing through Baton Rouge, I'd always stop at the house. Well, we didn't really have a place to park the trailer. There was a closed business that was about half a mile from where the house was, and I'd always back the truck up to it to make sure that the contents of the trailer stayed secured. And at the Kingpin, I would always make sure to put a lock on it so that another trailer couldn't hook up to it and pull the trailer off. I always made sure of that. But I was still nervous as hell about it. And then I just bobtail on home. Stay home sometimes for just a couple hours, other times a day or two, depending upon where the load was going. Told my dispatcher I was doing it. And as long as I continued to check in like I was supposed to, he didn't care. As long as I got the load where it needed to be. I have road rage towards idiots in my pickup. I don't think that would work very no, it really wouldn't. It really wouldn't. Just like the drunk truck drivers, I mean, not drunk truck drivers, but tired truck drivers because you're driving a 80,000-pound rocket. Sometimes we call them 80,000-pound death machines. Because you hear about people falling asleep and plowing into cars. We had one guy who fell asleep and his team driver woke up just before they ended up hitting a overpass pylon. He took out one, almost took out a second before the overpass collapsed on top of him. And somehow, a miracle, the driver that was in the sleeper somehow survived. Of course, mind you, it was this time that energy drinks weren't around. It was coffee and something that they sold in the truck stops that was about the equivalent of speed. It was supposed to wake you up, but I tried that stuff one time and our company was dead set against it. They started testing to make sure that you did not use it. Then they had little devices you could buy in the truck stops that you tucked behind your ear, that if your head went to a certain angle, it would emit a ear piercing scream that would wake you up. Kind of like the jump scares. That's not an invite, Imfried, but thank you. But they'd wake you up. And I had one of those. Believe me, I had one of those. After almost falling asleep one time behind the wheel, next truck stop, I bought one. Paid about $40 for it. You know what? That thing worked great. The only problem was, though, is that if you decided to look down for paperwork without taking it off first, and you started going like, it went off. So you scare the crap out of you. Can't tell you the number of times the thing scared the crap out of me. I forgot one time I wore it in a truck stop, went to go look at the menu, tilted my head, and it went off. And yeah, I made sure that thing went off real quick. I turned it off. I have people tailgate me in my vehicles, and I have fun with them slowing down next to 18 wheels. Yeah, we used to, people who used to tailgate like that, we used to box them in with other trucks. We'd box them in. There are a lot of prisoners of war here. Madinama. I'll stick her in business. I need to see if I've got another group of passengers besides prisoners of war. I should have taken the Ross group instead. Ross 140. He'd have paid more. But we're going to Maddie and Nama. I got two groups of prisoners of war going over there, but not pay very much. We'll go ahead and take them because we're going the same way. But I loved it. I love driving 18-wheelers. My mom hadn't been sick with cancer, I probably would still be doing it. Well, I'd have been doing it until the arthritis in my legs kicked in. That probably would have put a stop to it, climbing in and out of the truck every day. Worst part is we also didn't have GPSs, so we had to deal with our road maps and deal with dispatchers who thought they knew where they were sending us and where the delivery part was, and come to find out that they didn't know anything about anything. But eventually we'd find it on our own, get the dispatch, get the load where it's supposed to be, make the customer happy. A lot of these companies had trucker lounges that were pretty nice. They tried to make the truckers happy and comfortable. Had all kinds of vending machines. You had nice, soft, and I mean soft couches and chairs and TVs. And so I knew sometimes loading trucks could take hours if there were a lot of people ahead of you, or it could be as little as 10 minutes. And sometimes they even had restaurants close by, and there was this one place that was pretty good. They had a shuttle. They would take us from their terminal to go eat and then come back and get us when we called. I did it one day. I was driving an 05 Grand Prix and had a Ford Escape try to push me to go faster, 75 to 60. So I came up on the truck and slammed my brakes. See, when we had little four-wheelers do that, and we were on the CBs to each other, we'd box them in. We would box them in. We'd get up alongside another truck, we'd slow down or they'd speed up. And while they were in either the inside or outside lane, if there was another truck close by, they'd speed up just enough to pin them, just where they couldn't go around, in case one of us started pulling forward. Our rolling roadblocks, they called it. Yep. Louisiana State Police used to do it all the time when the speed limit was 55 in the state on the interstates. Yeah, the state police would go side by side in both lanes to force drivers to go 55. It was unique. They took the truck drivers' things and they started doing it themselves. Had a lot of fun out on the road. Had a lot of fun. Every now and then I would treat myself to stay in a hotel. Truck stops had laundry machines set up, washing machines and dryers where you do your clothes. You got shower tickets every time you fueled up. So while the company was paying for the fuel, you got a shower ticket. You were able to get a free shower. It was always pretty good. Okay, we got rid of the prisoners of war. Just a reputation change. That's nothing to worry about. Thought it was my passenger here. Kondakova. Galaxy map. Oh, wait, that was what I wanted it to do. Oh. Also had a Chevy Malibu try to do to me as well as fast in the line of cars. I slammed on my brakes and the guy had to swerve to the median so he didn't hit me earlier. One thing I had also learned when I drove a truck was I kept a full size first aid kit with me. Because a lot of times when you were in the middle of nowhere and you come across a bad traffic accident from somebody who might have fallen asleep behind the wheel, you're 20, 30 miles from near a city and state police are having to rush and ambulances are trying to rush, that sometimes you could offer aid to help people. And there were a lot of times I did stop. I did offer to help people who had been in bad accidents before. It made me feel useful. Funniest thing about first story was that the escape had a pastor that was pounding his fist toward me like he wanted to fight me for what I did. Yeah, I always come across people like that. Both in the 18-wheeler, I drove armored cars, and and this, when I drove an 18-wheeler. I mean, my personal vehicle. They always do that. They're in a hurry to go somewhere. They're the only people on the road. They're the only people that matter. They're also the ones that when it's raining or snowy out that are going 100 miles an hour that, about 5, 6 miles down the road, they've either spun out, they're in the median, they're in the trees. The cops haven't pulled over, but you're just hoping that if they spun out somewhere, that they didn't take an innocent person out. I forgot. I start talking and I forget I'm not on the assist. It's okay, Mr. Passenger. We're just giving you the scenic view. Yeah, that's it. Sounds good. Just giving you the scenic view. Yes, sir. Enjoy the sights. There's your beautiful planet right there. Okay. It told me to hit Y to exit, so I did, and now we are. I guess I had done it just a little bit too soon. So we gave our passenger an extra little jolt there, making sure he was awake. Hope he wasn't drinking coffee at that time. But if he was, it's okay. We'll satisfy him. We'll pay for his dry cleaning. My cruise assist doesn't like to work all the time for me. But we were flying pretty good. It just told me to hit Y to exit, and I did, and it dropped us a little bit further away. But it's all okay. That's okay. We got the guy here in one piece. We didn't fly into it. We didn't bypass it a second time. Like I said, we'll pay for his dry cleaning if he spilled his coffee on himself. It's all okay. We aim to please. Within reason, of course. We always aim to please. Got to make everybody happy. At least try to. Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir. We're not satisfied with your performance. We've decided not to renew our contract with you. All right. Before we go look for another group of passengers, let's see. Okay. A reputation change, reputation change. That's not what that was. This one was. Go do the business. Yeah, but you see, they always say things about the secondary contracts when you've already been away from the system. If I'm going back that way, that's one thing. If I'm not, I'm sorry. I call BS on you trying to make people happy. Hey, now, what's that supposed to mean? You know, don't. I try to be a nice guy. Keyword try. I think I'm going to try one of those this weekend. I'm just curious. Where is this? Oh, that's witch head. Requirements not yet met. Okay, I don't have to worry about those then. All right, LTT 15587. PT 15587. Let's see if we've got anybody else going in that direction. That's a negative. How many people you have? 6 economy. Two economy. Okay. We'll stick you in economy. We'll put your 6 people up there. And we'll give this person a chance to complain. But we'll put them in first class. Yeah, that's it. We'll put them in first class. Thinking. No idea where that system is. So we'll just go ahead and load them all up. Yeah, that's it. I have authorization to be inside the docking bay, and thank you very much for asking. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. We will have you at your destination momentarily. In the event of atmospheric failure, please remember, thank you for flying Astro Space Lines, the no-frills airline service. What? Now, that could have been addressed to me. I just launched. Was it? Now, that had to have been addressed to somebody else. That couldn't have been addressed to me. I think. I hope. I didn't do it. I swear. I promise. I'm just an innocent pilot. That's all I'm doing. That's all. That's all. They gonna make me cry. They hurt my feelings. They hurt my little feelings. You see, this was one of the things that my current wife asked me if I ever would consider doing. Not anything like this. It's driving a bus, working for Greyhound or something like that. No, I don't think I could do that. She knew I drove 18 wheelers. She knew I liked it for a while. And she asked me if I thought I could ever drive something like a Greyhound. No. Kind of like working in a restaurant. Can't do it. Love to cook. Can't work in a restaurant. Love to drive over the road. Can't drive a bus. I've driven moving vans for friends that were nervous about driving them. I've drove moving vans for friends across country who were nervous about driving them. You know, I've driven RVs, not these buses converted to mobile campers. I've never driven anything like those. That's another thing. How come you have a CDL? You have to have a CDL with a passenger endorsement to drive a passenger bus, but you just have to have a regular driver's license to drive a bus that's been converted over to a camper. To tell you what, a lot of people who drive those things cannot drive them. They can't. They can't keep them in their lane. They can't make proper turns. You innocent, I call BS, you're always guilty. Hey, hey, hey. You have no evidence that I'm always guilty and up to something. You have no evidence at all. None whatsoever. I'm not always guilty of everything. I'm not. I try to be a good person. Keyword try. Okay, except talk about my wife's cooking. And send in gag gifts to some people. I got offered paid CDL training to be a school bus driver. Told them no. See, I really couldn't be a school bus driver either for the simple fact is I remember how I was to our school bus driver. But there was one thing about this lady, this bus driver, that when we lived in Denham Springs, Louisiana, it was pretty cool because our street flooded. For some reason, the main highway always drained toward our little street. Our little street was a dead end street. Our bus driver was deathly afraid of water. So if there was a little bit of water that barely crossed our dirt road, she would not drive through it. She wouldn't. It didn't matter if it was ankle deep. She would not drive through it. Now, the further you went down the road, the deeper it went. Most of the time, the water stopped right there at my driveway. She would not drive through it. And we always had excused absences from school in elementary and junior high. It was pretty good. We liked it. It was a good excuse. Till one day we had a substitute driver who decided to actually drive the bus through the water because, well, she realized the bus was taller than the water. Good morning, Blazing Butterfly. How are you doing this morning, ma'am? I hope you are doing well and staying warm. I just want to let you know that your husband is being very mean to me. Yes, he is. He says I'm not the sweet and innocent guy like I claim I am. It's not a good thing. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yeah, I'm trying. I am trying. I was going to say all I got to do for evidence is ask Jimmy for DMs and the picture proof of gifts. Free bite me. Okay. Well, I guess that pretty much solves about my being innocent. You know, I'm going to give all of y'all a chance one day. All of you that I've sent nasty little gag gifts to, raunchy little gag gifts, all of y'all that I've insulted, all of y'all that I've made fun of. I think one day we just have to have a roast. And all of y'all will be invited in to just sit here and do nothing more than slam me for all that you can. That's right. And we're going to make it no holds barred. Yep. All right, we got two more people. We're going to make sure we don't have them here. I don't think it'll let me make this in one jump. I need to get a bigger fuel scoop, and I'm going to change the cabins around just a little bit. Just a little bit. He gets himself in trouble all the time. Yes, ma'am, he does. He really does. He really does. He tries to play sweet and innocent too, but we all know the truth. Infried is not sweet and innocent. He tries to act it. He really does. But he doesn't fool me. I'd be afraid of the comebacks. Well, you know, with the roast, I'll sit there and let you all slam me. But yes, there will be comebacks. And I will respond in kind. I have to. I actually have to. It's only fair and fitting. I'm doing okay. My coffee, on the other hand, well, your coffee needed coffee. Oh, I've had a lot of days like that. Yeah, I didn't think it would. I still have got to do something about that. Let's see, I've got to get a bigger fuel tank. I've got to get bigger fuel scoop. I want to change the cabins around a little bit. Maybe I can get a bigger liner. Yeah, that's it. Instead of a dolphin liner, maybe we can get a whale. I forget what the next step up is. And do I have to answer that? No, ma'am, you do not have to answer that. It's okay. It is completely all right. You don't need to answer. You're fine. You're fine. But I think we're going to do that. I would suggest it to Jimmy, but I know he would take the lead on it and start arranging everybody to start getting in line to tag me and tag me hard. Yep. But I think we could do it. That would be one heck of a show. Because he wants to do the Red and Astro morning show. Or the Red and Astro weekend show. Oh, yeah. When you go to make coffee and each scoop seems to multiply in the filter basket, making the coffee a wee bit stronger. Yeah. What I like to do just a little bit is put just a tiny little bit of salt in the coffee. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it tastes good. Really does taste good. Get material from chat. Oh wait, he does it when I'm there. I think it would be a good show. I really do. I mean, how many times do we give everybody a chance just to slam me all at one time? I mean, you would be there, Jimmy, DC, Phantom. Oh, RG. Ooh. Ooh, that would be bad. RG would be bad. RG always slams me even when I haven't done him anything. Okay. That's the amazing part. I don't do him anything and he slams me all the time. I'm German. I like my coffee strong. I like my coffee strong too. That stuff we had in the Navy, though, it was just watered down. I like the stuff from the truck stops when it was kind of like mud. Oh, yeah. I had a little small coffee maker in my truck. Had a bottle of water I always carried with me just so I could make coffee whenever. I would definitely be there for that one. I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. I'm sure you'd be inputting quite a bit too. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I think you would. Got to get the slams in while you can. So I know y'all be going everything from the name change right on up. Jimmy rated somebody yesterday when I spoke up. The guy started laughing because of my name. He couldn't say Astroglide without a big smile on his face. Then he started laughing about it. And it started as a joke. started a joke. We just embraced it. We put the sheep into it, and everything just fell into place. Need to get the anaconda fur liner. Yeah, we need a bigger liner. We need a bigger liner. All right, I got one more group. We'll pick up more passengers from our final destination here. I don't think I've ever been here before. I don't recognize the name. Can transport up to 144 passengers in economy. Instead of overbooking and putting people in the cargo hold, we could just cram them in like sardines. That would work. Do like clowns in a car, you know. We could put one more person in. Go ahead, just squeeze in there. That's right. We should take them, we shove them in, we slam the door closed behind them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Found a cheat sheet website. Man, there are a lot of websites out there with a lot of good information. I wouldn't exactly call them cheat sheet because, believe me, it's all very helpful and informative. There are a lot of good sites out there. And some of this game, you really need them for. You really do. But I'm glad you're enjoying it, Imfried. I really am. Besides, gives you something to do and say how your wife's here for a little bit. She knows where to find you. I didn't think so. Come on. Got to get a bigger fuel tank. Need a bigger fuel tank. Need a bigger fuel scoop. I think I've already put in a secondary tank. Actually, I did. I removed one of the, or did I? I don't remember if I did now. I thought I removed one of the other cabins and put another fuel tank in. It was small, though. So I had a dare last night from Monday's stream. Ooh. What you gonna do, Blazin'? What are you going to do, ma'am? I like little challenges. Oh, I do. I really do. She always knows where to find me. I'm either in front of the computer or sleeping. Chicken riders. What are chicken riders? You actually have a you really have me on a loss for that one. DM'd you a link to the guide I found on pasture carriers. All right, thanks, Hipfried. Thank you, sir. I want to know what chicken riders are. Because you kind of piqued my interest. Oh, it's a free game on Steam. Oh, okay. You know, I was joking with Chakota about Farm Sim Battle Royale, and he sent me a game that's coming out. It's called Farm Wars. It is funny looking. It really is. People running over people with tractors, guns, chainsaws. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see it now. It'd be perfect. Get the farm sim community together and everybody run around out there in the fields just hacking each other to pieces. I'm sorry, I kind of got that little sadistic side. I'll try to contain it. Just whatever y'all do, please don't talk to Phantom and ask him about it, because, well, I've been doing the jigsaw thing on him quite a bit. Yeah, I've been dropping in Big Guy's chat and, just kind of hitting Phantom with the whole jigsaw thing, and he thinks it sounds like it, and I don't think it does, but pretty looking world. I heard about that game, should be interesting. I like the way it looks. I do. That'd be a good one to try. That would be a good one to try. I haven't played COD in about 2 weeks, and I know that they've got double XP this week, or this weekend, so I'm going to give it a run for the money and see what happens. So we'll see how bad I've gotten because I'm out of practice. May have to run a few rounds of zombies first to get warmed up. Yeah. Excuse me one moment while I do a quick little stretch. Okay. We're all good. I always used to stretch like that in the driver's seat. Okay, here we go. Are we going to make it? Off to bed for me. Have an awesome stream and a great day. Yes, sir, big guy. You take it easy, sir. You have yourself a good rest, and I will be talking to you later on this afternoon. Thank you very much for stopping in, sir. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, this was our last group of pastors, so we're going to take them. We're going to drop them off here. We're going to pick up some more people. Okay, now let's see who we got. Where they're going to. Ingiri, 933.77. Okay, I got 2 here for 96308. I've got 2 for 1. There's another one for Ross 151. Oh, looks like we almost have a winner. All right, we've got to check. Five in economy. 562,000. 4 for economy. 32,000. Okay, they'd be the losers. Five for economy. I'll take 1. How much are you worth? 228. I am so sorry, sir. 562,000. He actually wins. He wins. If people would like to break up into different cabins, we could do that. Okay, we'll take a little side trip here to Mr. Hip 96308. We'll slap them into economy. I will grab a couple more people, see if we can squeeze them in also. 3 people in economy. I'll tell you what, I will put you in business because I'm a nice guy. Unlike what Imfried says, I am a nice guy. All right, will y'all calm down, please? Thank you. Sorry, the dogs are gonna go crazy. Okay, we've got them all crammed in. See, the thing is, though, is that they like to go out and play in the snow. It doesn't matter day or night, and they're getting kind of worked up because they know it's getting close to time to going out and play in it. Then just before coming back inside, they remember that they went outside to actually go do their business, and then they run out in the yard. Except for Penny, she does different. She goes out and she does her stuff before she starts playing and laying down and rolling around in the snow. Okay, we're going to go drop off our first group here. Send us mass lock releases, and here we go. Ow. Also sent you the Steam link for the Chicken Rider. All right, thanks, Imfried. I'll take a look at it. Chicken Rider, that sounds like, oh, what was that game? Joust. The old arcade game Joust, where you rode the flying ostriches and you were a knight with your lance and you had to knock the other knights off their mounts. Okay, I'm really starting to date myself. Of course, my first video game I ever played really was the Pong system for the home. That was 2 flip paddles that you could plug a gun in for target shooting. That was early to mid 70s. Pinball machines in Louisiana were only playable by people who were 18 or over. So the little pizza place we used to go to, my dad would put a quarter in and stand there like he was playing it, but it was actually me doing it. Yeah. Atari was my first game system. I had one of those too. My grandparents got it for me. I was only allowed to play it pretty much when it was at night or raining outside because my parents wanted me to go outside and play. And yeah, I played the heck out of that. I played the heck out of it. Man, I would wear the controllers out. I found the secret room in Adventure that stopped the game. My grandfather was shocked because he didn't realize that I knew how to find it. I found it by accident. Only you're a polar bear riding a chicken to free other chickens from a farm. Hey, that sounds like the Delta Fleece thing. Originally, it was the Delta Fleece would go from farm to farm, attacking the farmers to free the captive sheep around the world to set free their brethren. Yeah. Frogger, Space Invaders, Asteroids, Pac-Man. Zerk. The Pac-Man was a bad copy. Pac-Man was a bad copy. Miss Pac-Man was pretty good. I liked Miss Pac-Man. We had one that my grandparents got that you plugged this big, huge thing into it. It had a cable that plugged into a tape recorder, and the game was on a cassette tape. And the screen would tell you when to push play for it to start loading the game into the Atari 2600, and it would tell you to stop, and that was your level. And there was one game it went 3 or 4 times like that till you finished the game. I remember those. Those were the challenging games. Oh yeah. And it's set up kind of like Mario. I like the Atari Donkey Kong. I liked it. My aunt was River Raid by Activision. That's the one she liked. I found a Pac-Man board game. It was a Pac-Man board game? I never do that. My grandma liked the little guy teeter-totter on Circus, where the little guy would come down, hit a trampoline, bounce, and you had to keep bouncing back and forth on the teeter-totter while breaking the colored balloons up at the top of the screen. And I always thought the game could be a little bit more interesting if when the guy fell, his head would go flat. If they would put a little red spot like blood or something, a little ambulance come out and pick him up. But okay, well, maybe I was sadistic when I was a kid for thinking something like that, because I remember my grandpa just shaking his head and looking at me. So I guess that's where my sadistic side really started kicking in some. I thought it was funny. I thought it was. It was just meant as a joke. When I had my game was M&M's kart racing. Found it at Target. I might have to see. I might really have to see. I know that they have released updated versions of both Missile Command and Space Invaders. But I think if you're going to release new versions like what they've done, where they make them neon colors and do all kinds of weird power-ups and things to them, you need to include the classic. Yeah. Do the black and white classics. Gotta have the classics. What movie makes. That's all there is to it. You gotta have them. Got to. It's also on Amazon for $13. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Okay, Blazin, I sure will. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for letting me know that. I'll just buy it for a collector's item. Put them up at the closet. I still got my original D&D set up in my closet that I had when I was 12, 14. I think my old character sheet's still in it too. I know I've got my 3rd edition books up in there with all the old characters that we retired and died. We played characters for a while, and then when they started getting up into levels 20, 25, we'd retire them. Yeah. Let them live a life of peace, exploration. You know, we didn't have to kill them off. We used to put our D&D characters through hell. There was one time I had he was an illusionist. No, he was a wizard. He was a fire wizard. He was married to a little gnome. No, she was a halfling thief. And my God had put these rings on our fingers where if I was bad, that all she had to do was say a word and it would shock me. So one day we found this mirror down in this dungeon, and being the wizard, I went to go examine it and fell through it. Ended up coming across this evil dragon. Well, made a deal with the dragon, because I was chaotic neutral, that if he let me go back to rejoin the friends, I would send him a paladin to eat. He liked that thought. So he changed my alignment. He sent me back. I was able to blast the paladin through the mirror, which closed behind him. And because we couldn't remove the wedding rings from our god, Holly, my halfling wife, knew something was wrong when the rings fell off of our fingers. And that's when I started fireballing the rest of the party, because I was impervious to fire. The paladin died, and I killed 6 of 9 party members before they took me out. I remember everybody was so mad at me. And the only thing is, though, is that, I mean, we were all good friends. And Bill, our DM, he said he was chaotic neutral. You know, he had a chance of making the deal with the dragon, and I rolled, and he got a good deal. So we had to do it. It's like, but yeah, we killed just about everybody. And Susan, she and I still talk every now and then about Holly and her husband. The rings falling off. Her all of a sudden going, oh shit, when the first fireball came flying out of my hands to zap the party. We gamed together for many years. We did that on a Saturday night. Kept us all out of trouble. Okay, we're finally coming in to drop this group off. We gotta go to Hip and Maddie afterward. Yes, ma'am, we will comply. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Just kicking back, relaxing, having a good chill stream while everybody tries to stay warm today. I need to wait for some of the stuff to melt because I've got limbs down in my yard that I cannot see and I don't know where they are. Even the dogs haven't found them yet. Okay, we dropped her off. Well, they're just little small limbs. They're not bad. I got a couple big ones that came down from the windstorm when it was really cold outside. I know where that one is. We can all see it. But I've got things down the front yard I can't see. We don't go out in our front yard very much except to cut the grass, pick up down tree limbs, and that was another thing my wife liked about the house, is the fact that the front yard used to be lined with trees up at the street. We had a couple in the backyard, and I don't know how we didn't hit that. But we've got one tree that was struck by lightning a couple years ago, about 6 in the morning. Still got signs of damage all down the side of it. Tree survived. Somehow that tree survived. It blew parts of the tree a block and a half away. And every now and then we get limbs that come down from the top of it. Not big, but just big enough. That's the one that shades the house the most during the summertime. When the sun goes to set in the evening. Oh yeah. We were hoping that tree wouldn't die. When I was a kid, I saw a bunch of trees on the street we lived on get hit by lightning. They all died. This one survived it. It really did. It happened at 6 o'clock in the morning. We were all still sound asleep, and it was like a bomb had gone off outside. All we saw was this blinding white light. Thunderstorm that came up that wasn't supposed to happen, and ran outside in the middle of the storm. Hail coming down. I was looking at the roof trying to see if the roof had been struck by lightning. It was on fire. House wasn't hit. It was a couple hours later when the sun came up that we realized it was the tree that had been struck, and the tree is about 15 feet from the house. So we started picking up pieces of it. We started finding pieces of it in other people's yards, and we were picking them up, and we just wanted to see how far the pieces had been blown, and we found it, yeah, a block and a half away. 3 days after I moved in this park we live in now, we had a tornado come through at 1:30 in the morning. Bright neon pink lightning and all. This light was so bright. I mean, it lit up the house. It knocked every picture in the house off the walls. Woke everybody up. All the dogs woke me up. Scared the crap out of them. We couldn't fuss at the dogs for being so scared that they peed wherever. Of course, we had to shampoo the carpets afterward. I mean, it was like somebody had just turned on a light in our eyes. It was so bright. And the rumble, oh, man, I'm never going to forget that sound. Had to try to crawl in our crawl space to make sure that the house was still sitting on the foundation because the whole house shook. That's the reason why we thought a bomb had gone off outside. We were awake. I was home alone with 3 teens. When I first moved up here to Kansas, we had a bad thunderstorm come through, and we couldn't leave because we had baseball size hail, baseball, softball size. It was hitting the roof. And we had one dog outside that was in a storage shed. He was in a pen, but there was a cutout for him to enter the storage shed for his shelter. And we couldn't get to him. So I grabbed my wife, threw her on the floor, had her hold the dog, and I just pulled the mattress over ourselves because that's how bad it was. We had just bought a brand new vehicle. We stepped outside. Man, it looked like there was about a foot of snow on the ground. These things were huge. They were piled up everywhere. Windows in our vehicles were shattered. Looked like somebody had taken a hammer to the body of the vehicles. They just were all pounded. Trees were torn apart. They didn't have leaves on them. Wife had a beautiful rose garden. It was shredded. Tomato plants. Everything was smashed flat. Oh, it was. Because it was just supposed to be a simple little rainstorm. And the next thing you know, we heard sirens. And then we couldn't hear the sirens anymore because the roof was being pounded on. Opened the door, saw everything, and immediately shoved her back inside to get her away from the door. Couldn't figure out why I was throwing her on the floor and telling her to hold the dog. After I crawled under the mattress with her, I told her why. We always got hit with some nasty storms. Nasty. All right, this is our last person. Gonna get him up. Yep, it gets nasty in Kansas. Having an aunt and uncle live out there. Oh yeah. Storms come up out of nowhere. See, our hardest problem is that where I live at, I-35 is kind of to the north of us. And we've got these huge lines of thunderstorms start coming in from the west. And we live kind of south central. But when they get within about 10 to 15 miles of us, they start breaking up. They go completely around us to the north and south. And when they get to the east of us, they completely reform. So we don't know if it has something to do with the interstate, if it has something to do with the nuclear plant, or if it has something to do with the lakes right beside us. That's the reason why our county a lot of times are in drought conditions, because we just don't get the rain we need. But when I first moved up here from Baton Rouge, I went in a massive culture shock. Used to be when I couldn't sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, I could go grocery shopping. Closest place I could go up here was about 60 miles away. There's nothing really to do in the evenings. Everybody was kind of cliquish and standoffish at first, so they got to know me. That took a couple years. But I wouldn't trade living in this little town for anywhere. But My wife lately has been starting to talk about wanting to move. Oh, wait, what am I doing? She's been talking lately about wanting to move. There have been sometimes I hit her with the idea, but lately she's been the one who's been coming up with it. And she wants to go. Okay. I don't know if I hit the button or what, but and she's been talking and wanting to move down to the Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana area, which is strange for her because her relatives are up in Nebraska and Missouri, and she wants to move down there. We're closer to where I'm from. But I've got one uncle and some cousins down in the Jones Creek, Texas area, and they're just north of Houston. So actually, I've never met them. I just know that my dad had told me one time to stay away from them, but he never said why. I've talked to them quite a bit. Really nice people. They're family to me. They're the only family I really have except for my son, my current wife. So I mean, it's found out a few years ago my grandpa is buried in Texas. Most of mine are all buried in Louisiana. I haven't been back there since my grandma passed in 2002, and I need to go back. I was supposed to go a couple years ago, but my wife got bad sick and needed to have surgery, so I didn't. We never went back, and she's still pushing for me to go, but I don't really want to. There's, I keep telling her there is nothing for me there anymore. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Got some good friends back there I'd like to go see though, but I'm not sure I really want to go. But we're gonna refuel. We're gonna drop these guys off, and yeah, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what we're gonna do. we're just going to go ahead and we are going to call it just a little bit early today. I've got a couple things I need to take care of this morning. You never met him. I'm sorry, Blazin. I'm sorry. Let's go find somebody we can share the love with this morning. Oh, let's see who is up, who is live, who is playing Elite Dangerous. There we go. The perfect lady. A very perfect lady. I wish to thank everybody for coming in this morning. We are going to be back at 5 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning. And until that time, y'all take care, be safe, have yourselves a great day, and continue to try to stay warm out there. Thank you for coming in.